and an introduction to the various programming languages of 8051, as well as we have seen that what is the syntax for C, what are the data types for C, and some programs we have already done based on C programming. Screen. So this was the program which we did last, this was the last program which we did yesterday, in which all the bits of P1 were to be toggled with some delay. One thing was left out, that in case we want to repeat a certain process continuously, means forever. Repeat forever means it's an endless loop. Then either we can use an empty for loop or we can use while one. For example, in this case you can see that suppose you want to, thank you. Suppose you want to repeat this particular process continuously. So what we have done is we have put all the process inside this empty for loop. Apart from this empty for loop, we can also use while one. That will also do the same. The next program which we are going to discuss now is how to write an 8051 C program to send the values -4 to 4 to port P1. Now this program will help you in understanding the concept of arrays also, because the values -4 to 4 will be sent through an array. So how to use array in sending these values to the port P1. So this is the array signed char. A is the name of the array which I have given, and then square brackets, and the values which I want to send are -4, -3, -2, -1 to 4. All these values are basically represented in the form of an array. And please note one thing, that because here we have negative values as well, so that is why I have made use of this word signed. Otherwise it would have been unsigned. Suppose the values were 4 to 8 or something, the positive values were there, then you would have written unsigned char. The array would have been unsigned. But in this case, since negative numbers are also involved, so that is why the array is signed. Another thing is, if you do not write this this signed also, that will also work, because it is by default. Suppose I write char, so that is by default signed. I need not write signed word also, but this is just to make you understand that this is a particular signed array. That's why I have written this sign. Okay. Now how to send these values? Firstly, we need to understand how many total values are there. We have 1, 2, 3. ठीक है, स्लाइड्स ही रखो, पिक्चर मत दिखाओ कोई। पर इनको कैसे दिखेगा? वो नहीं चल रहा है। Can you hear me? Can all the centers hear me? उनकी आवाज भी
Yes,
नहीं आ रही है
ma'am.
मुझे।
Yes, ma'am.
Hello.
हाँ,
Yes,
can you
ma'am.
hear me?
Good
Yes,
morning,
ma'am.
ma'am. Abhilash here from MIT Meerut.
Yeah, good morning.
Ma'am, some problem was there, I think.
Yeah, the electricity has gone here. There is no light, so because of that, you will not be able to see me.
Okay,
But I'll be trying to share my slides, and my voice will be there.
ma'am, one page is there on which the objective is written.
Yeah, because we don't have light here, so we don't have that screen and all. So kindly bear with us at this moment. I cannot do anything else.
Okay, ma'am.
I'll try to explain this program as such with to you, and
Sure.
once the light comes, then the things will be smoother.
Fine,
Are the
fine.
other centers also able to hear me? They are able to hear. Okay, fine. So as we were discussing this program, 8051C program to send values -4 to 4 to port P1. So as I said that I have given a character A, and so
We are trying but helpless.
so character A, I've given it a name. The array is been given name A, and total values we have to count. How many values are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. For you, I'll write it on the board here. ठीक है, आप लोगों के लिए मैं बोर्ड पे लिख देती हूँ. Okay. Now, what we do is, because we'll have to send these values to port P1, so we will take one for loop. हमें एक for loop लेना पड़ेगा, and in that for loop, what we will do is, we will send these values one by one. For example, in this array, which value is A0? Can anyone tell? Suppose I write here. Yes, from the centers, can anyone tell me which value is this?
-4, ma'am.
Yes, it is -4. So accordingly, what I have to do is, I will take two unsigned char. One is I and J. And J is basically because we need a delay also in order to see it, that how one by one values are going, because of that. But main is this I. I is because we have to send these values one by one to the port P1. So what I do is, I'll take a for loop. I will start from 0 and the total values are 9. So it will be I is less than 10, I plus plus. And then P1 is equal to, so P1 will be given the value A bracket में I. So accordingly, AI will begin with A0. Accordingly, the first value, आपको ऐसे समझ में आ रहा है अगर मैं ऐसे बता दूं. So accordingly, the first value, that is -4, will be given to P1. Then I will be incremented by 1. It will become 1. Then A1, that is -3, will be given to P1. So this loop will keep on repeating till it reaches the value, last value, that is 4. So once it reaches that value 4, for loop will end, and then it will come out of the for loop. And so this is how one by one all the values will be sent to P1. Is it clear? Does anyone have any doubt, or should I repeat it? This is the main thing. P1 is equal to AI. So that is how these values will be. So this program helps you to understand the concept of array. Is it clear, all the centers? उनको मेरी आवाज तो फिर उनकी आवाज क्यों नहीं आ रही?
Morning, ma'am.
Yes, good morning.
Yes, we are clear with this program.
Okay, all the centers, any other? Okay.
We have
In
one
that
doubt.
case,
Hello,
yeah, yeah,
ma'am
yes,
from MIT. See
yes.
that unsigned carry, we have only 9 values,
Hmm,
and the loop will run for 10 times.
hmm.
It should be I is equal to 0 to I is less than 9, I
It should
guess.
be, yes, yes, you're right. You're right. Actually, the same thing which we discussed yesterday also, you were saying that it should be less than 255. That was correct. I checked it later on the simulator also. So because the total values are 9, so the loop should be repeated 9 times actually. That's correct. So it should be is equal to 0 and I is less than 9 and I plus plus.
9.
That's true. Okay. Next is how to send the hex values for the ASCII characters to port P1. Now in this case, what is important is that the ASCII values are passed in double quotes. So that's why, just a minute, I'll write on the board also for our participants here. So in this case, because the ASCII characters of these values, the values are not to be as such sent, their ASCII characters are to be sent. So that's why what we'll do is, in this, we will use them in double quotes. Whatever values, ASCII characters of 0, 1, 2, etc. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, C and D. The rest of the things are the same. The only thing is that instead of the curly bracket, we will be using double quotes to send the ASCII characters of these values. Now in this case, because total values are 10, so that is why I is less than 10, it will be repeated 10 times. In earlier case, it was to be repeated 9 times, so it was less than 9. Okay? Any doubts? Yeah, this is the next program. Actually, the thing is that in the earlier program, the values were to be sent as such. So in that case, we put those values in the curly bracket. So the value when we say A0, that means the first value -4 was sent to P1. But in this case, because we want to send the ASCII characters of these all 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, C, D. So we have put them in double quotes. So whenever we put them in double quotes, their ASCII value will be sent.
ASCII value will be displayed.
Yes, 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 yes. Okay. Okay, any doubts in this? Now, this is another program to get a byte of data from P0. You can also write because board you don't have that display, no? So the program is to write a program in C to get a byte of data from P0. If it is less than 100, send it to P1. Otherwise, send it to P2. Okay. So let's say the real-time scenario is like this. You have some sensor connected to P0. ये है ना हमारा 8051. This is P1, P0, P2 and P3. So suppose when you may say that get a byte of data means the real-time data is coming to port P0. Now what we have to do is we have to compare this value. ऐसा भी कुछ हो सकता है, हम इससे एक रियल टाइम सिचुएशन ऐसा सोच सकते हैं कि हमारा यहाँ पे एक टेम्परेचर सेंसर लगा हुआ है. सो टेम्परेचर सेंसर जो है वो टेम्परेचर की वैल्यूज को ले रहा है. अगर उसकी वैल्यू 100 से कम है then send it to P1, और P1 में आपका let's say heater लगा हुआ है, so if the value is less than 100 you have to turn on the heater, and in case it is not less than 100 send it to P2, so maybe वहां पे कुछ अलार्म लगा हुआ है, मीन 100 से ज्यादा है या equal to 100 है, तो उस टाइम पे वो अलार्म बज जाए. Now how to send these values actually to the port, the real time port, we will see in this program. Okay. One very important point which you must keep in mind is that whenever you are working on ports, so ports are either input port or they are output ports. So when you have an data coming to the port, you have to make it an input port. हम वो input port कैसे बनाते हैं? By giving 1 to all, yes, FF. हमें सारे जो port pins है उन पे 1 देना पड़ता है. And output port कैसे होता है? सब पे 0 देना पड़ता है. Output port बनाने की जरूरत नहीं होती है. बट अगर आपको वो पोर्ट को इनपुट पोर्ट बनाना है देन यू हैव टू राइट अ वैल्यू हाई.
बाय डिफॉल्ट इनपुट होते हैं.
बाय डिफॉल्ट इनपुट होते हैं.
तो बाय डिफॉल्ट 1 1
होते हैं.
हैव टू मेक इट आउटपुट.
नो नो नो, वी हैव टू मेक इट इनपुट पोर्ट. हमें डिक्लेयर उसको इनपुट पोर्ट बनाना पड़ता है. क्या हुआ? So in this case, because which port is basically an input port? Your port 0, because you are getting a byte of data from the P0. So that's why when I write P0 is equal to 0xFF, that means I make it an input port. And जो data आपके पास आ रहा है, you have to define it. You are getting a byte of data. So firstly, let me write the program here. So a byte of data has come and its name is my byte, and empty for loop is for repeating the loop forever, and from P0 the data is coming. I send it this value to the my byte data, and then I compare it. If my byte is less than 100 then it should my byte is equal to my byte, else P2 is equal to my byte. Now my question to you people is, I have deliberately made an error in this program. Can you tell me? आप लोगों के लिए मैं यहाँ लिख देती हूँ. Yes, all the centers. I have deliberately made an error in this program. Can you point out the error? Connected है centers. बट आवाज नहीं आ रही मुझे. हेलो.
Ma'am, the value of P naught?
Yes.
Value of P?
Value of P?
P0. Is it OX or 0x, ma'am?
It is 0x.
Okay, it is 0x.
So my question to all the centers is, please point out the error which I have made in this program.
Hello.
Yes sir.
Hello, ma'am.
हाँ जी बताइए.
Ma'am, I think you have not closed that void main. Only you have closed for loop. That curly brackets which we use.
हाँ हाँ, right right, ठीक है, ये भी है. और एक्चुअली एक मैं उसको एरर नहीं कह सकती, बट हाउ कैन आई इम्प्रूव दिस प्रोग्राम टू मेक इट द अदर वे विच आई वांट टू हियर फ्रॉम यू. Actually, that is not an error which I want to answer. I want the answer from you. But the thing is that particular thing should be changed. Please read the program carefully. I think we discussed this point yesterday also. One point is very right, that I have to close the curly bracket. That is okay. What else?
Ma'am, instead of comparing with my byte, saving in my byte, you can compare directly from P0.
No, I need to use one. I need to use one data type for this.
No, ma'am. What I'm saying that
Hmm.
instead of saving the data from P0 to my byte
Mm-hmm.
and then comparing my byte, we
Hmm.
can directly do it with P0. That means in if loop,
Hmm.
we can write P0 is less than 100.
Hmm. But then can you write P1 is equal to P0? That is an syntax error.
Okay.
If you
Instead
will
of
say
unsigned
P1 is
int,
equal to
can we use
P0, that is
unsigned
why
char?
we need to use this my byte here.
Okay, ma'am.
Hmm. Think.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes.
Instead of unsigned int, can we use unsigned char?
Yes. Can भी नहीं, हमें वही करना चाहिए.
Yes, ma'am.
क्यों?
Because we are comparing till 100 only. The value we are comparing till 100 only.
Yes.
So we can reduce the memory which is allocated by int.
Very nice. Yes, this is the thing which I wanted to hear from you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Actually, that is why I said that it was not an error. अगर आप ये कील में कंपाइलर में देंगे तो कंपाइलर के लिए इट इज नॉट एन एरर, फॉर इट इज फाइन, बट आपको इसका आंसर क्वेश्चन में ही मिलेगा. गेट अ बाइट ऑफ डेटा फ्रॉम P0. गेट अ बाइट ऑफ डेटा फ्रॉम P0. सो दैट मीन्स आपका जो वेरिएबल है वो क्या है? बाइट है. इट शुड नॉट बी इट कैर कैन वर्क. इंट यूज करके आप अननेसेसरली 2 बाइट्स ऑफ मेमोरी खा रहे हैं. ये चीज हमने कल भी डिस्कस की थी. सो वेरी राइट. विच सेंटर वाज दिस? कौन से सेंटर से आंसर मिला मुझे बताएंगे?
This is Dronacharya, Greater Noida.
ओके. थैंक यू फॉर योर आंसर.
Thank
एंड
you.
एनी अदर डाउट्स और शुड वी मूव टू द नेक्स्ट प्रोग्राम? क्लियर? ओके. सो नाउ कम्स योर कर्ली ब्रैकेट. एक्चुअली वो कस्टम एनिमेशन की वजह से एक वो कम हो गया था. ओके. नेक्स्ट प्रोग्राम इज अ सिमिलर वन. Port 0 is connected to a sensor. If a value FF comes on port P0, send 45H to P2, else send 00 to port P1. Now I want all of you to please try this first before I give you the answer. Okay, the problem is write a C program in case for P0, यानी कि आपका port 0 is connected to a sensor. If a value FF comes on P0, send 45H to P2, else send 00 to P1. So it can also be thought of like आपके पोर्ट 0 में कुछ सेंसर लगा है, अगर वो सारी वैल्यूज हाई हैं, इट में रिप्रेजेंट कि आपका कुछ डोर ओपन हो गया है, लेट्स से, है ना, डोर ओपन करके वो VCC से कनेक्ट हो गया. सो ऐसी कंडीशन में आपने 45 वैल्यू भेजनी है पोर्ट 2 पे. अगर नहीं हुआ तो 00 भेजना है पोर्ट P1. सिमिलर प्रोग्राम है पहले जैसा. ये रूम जनरेटर से कनेक्टेड ही नहीं है, इसका मतलब. इस प्रोग्राम की बात कर लेते हैं. Are all the centers there? Can you hear me?
अब ये आ गया ना. अरे ये चला गया. एक मिनट जा. ये हमारे लिए रिसर्च होता है यार.
Okay, I would like to announce to all the centers because electricity is not here. So what I'm planning to do is that I'll take a tea break right now. So let us hope that by the time we come back, the electricity comes. ठीक है, that will be easier for me also because I'm not able to see any of you and मुझे पता भी नहीं लग रहा है कि आप लोग connected हैं कि नहीं है. So NIT Greater Noida, are you there? NIET Greater Noida, are you there? Dronacharya Group of Institutions, are you there?
Yes, ma'am, you are here.
Okay. MIT Meerut. MIT Meerut.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. MMU Mulana.
Yes, ma'am.
Dronacharya Group Gurgaon. Dronacharya Group Gurgaon.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I want to announce to all of you that because there is no electricity here, so अब थोड़ी देर के लिए अभी हम थोड़ा सा एडवांस कर लेते हैं अभी अपना टी ब्रेक, so that by the time we come back, शायद hopefully electricity will come. So we'll again come back after 15 to 20 minutes. So it is quarter to 11 right now. We will reassemble here at 11. Is it okay?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, thank you so much.
हो गया पहुंच गया ना बंद
बोल दिया मैंने विशाल को कल मगर यार हमारे को बंद करना पड़ेगा अभी आई टिक हुई नहीं रही ओ बिग डेटा अभी नहीं स्टार्ट नहीं वो बोले तो उसको नोटिस अप्रैल लिखा होगा हम 2 दिन बाद नाम एंटर कर सकते हो वो नहीं करेंगे ना हो गया विशाल क्या कर रहा है मैं तो इंग्लिश का नाम एंटर कर रहा हूं P0 then send 45 H on P2 एक प्रिंट आउट कोड कहां गया इतना इतना चल तो रही है वीडियो इतना कॉम्प्लेक्स सिस्टम नहीं होता था इधर जाओ दिक्कत कहाँ थी पासवर्ड की दिक्कत हेलो भाई एक प्रिंट आउट लेके आना है तेरा कहाँ है तू आजा यार एसी चल रहा है यहाँ पे 15 मिनट बाद कंप्लीट हो गया आएगा ऊपर तो 11:30 आ जाऊंगा 11:30 उसने 15 से 20 मिनट बोला है हाँ 15 से 20 मिनट